I don't know why some of you people out there are still using Baker Creek for your garden seeds. I have no idea. And I get it, life is busy and you don't have time to stay up on every single controversy going out there on the internet. But it comes to a point where things stack up so high. It's like, you have to ask the question, why are you not paying attention? I don't like woke companies. I don't like effeminate companies. I want companies that stand for freedom, for liberty, for crying out loud. I've been saying this about Baker Creek for a while now. And I'm going to be careful here about what I'm saying. I'm only going to speak the truth. Listen, Baker Creek has egg on its face. I don't know if you know about the controversy. A few weeks ago, they came out with their spring seed catalog, and on the front cover was a genetically modified tomato. A genetically modified tomato. Now, I remember the days when we would go to the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival, and they had this, little town set up, and they had this like jail cell with, as the town sheriff, and inside of it was GMO Joe. And they're throwing Monsanto into the brig because those nasty GMOs, we don't want those here. Meanwhile, Roots and Refuge, which is a channel on YouTube, very popular channel, she always made the claim, GMO seeds are not actually commercially available to the public. They're commercially available to businesses, farms and things like that. But you can't really buy GMO tomatoes out there in public. That was true, but not now. That has changed. And she even did a video on it. That you can now buy these purple Galaxy tomatoes, and they are a cross between tomatoes and I think snapdragons. Don't hold me to that. I think it's snapdragons. I'm not sure. It's a genetically modified tomato that's now available to the public, and Baker Creek put that on the cover of their spring seed catalog. It couldn't happen to a better company. When did Baker Creek go off the rails? I wanted to support that company. I loved that company. I thought they stood for so many good things, wholesome things. And then the memo comes out during the whole, clot shot thing. And they wanted to force their employees to get, I gotta be careful, the clot shot, the pokey poke. If you are not fully pokey poked, you will not be, I'm reading from the memo, internal memo put out by Baker Creek. If you are not fully pokey poked, you will not be subject to testing or required to wear a mask. We will require your official pokey poke records before January 10th, 2022. Where is it at? If you are fully pokey poked, please bring your proof of your pokey poke to the HR office so that we can photocopy it and keep it on file. Some employees of that company sent me that internal memo that never actually went out because of the complete and total, I believe it didn't go out. I was told that. I don't know if that's true or not. Because of the complete and total backlash of the employees and customer base. Many of the employees who resisted that and who leaked that information have now been terminated because we will have none of that. If the government mandates it, well, we will enforce it because we love our government. They're here to keep us safe. Meanwhile, they put you into concentration camps because you don't get the pokey poke. I mean, these people have just gone off the rails. It couldn't happen to a better company. The company now puts a GMO tomato, and then they come out and they say, whoa, 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 whoa. We didn't know it was GMO. We thought this was pure. It was from somewhere over there in Europe. We were lied to. It wasn't our fault. We didn't know it was genetically modified. Please forgive us. It's okay. Next time we'll do better. Let's read the article. Over at agdaily.com. Seed catalog throws tantrum after listing GMO tomato by accident. Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company had an intriguing offer on the cover of its 2024 catalog, a tomato seed it called Purple Galaxy. However, what the Missouri-based non-GMO seed supplier didn't seem to realize is that the Purple Galaxy was very closely connected to the purple genetically engineered tomato variety created by Norfolk Healthy Produce. Healthy, I'm sure. And boy, was Baker Creek ticked off. In a long Facebook post Monday afternoon, Baker Creek got defensive of the product listing, suggesting it had been hoodwinked because it had sourced the tomato seeds from a plant breeder in Europe, where the bar is particularly high for genetically engineered foods to be approved. Baker Creek also claims to have gotten the seeds tested at a respected lab in Europe. I'm going to go out and give my opinion on this and say that's a big, fat, nose-growing sentence. And all of that is fine if a company such as Baker Creek wants to keep its business confined to organic and heirloom seeds. It certainly can. What got weird was the post's unnecessary tirade against Big Ag. Baker Creek is one of the nearly 400 companies that subscribe to the Safe Seed Pledge, first created by the Council for Responsible Genetics in 1999. Indeed, we are one of the leaders in the movement to keep gardens free of genetically engineered plants, the company said in its Facebook post. In the decades before CRG wrote its pledge, Big Ag had used genetic engineering to manipulate the DNA of seeds, and by parenting them and suing farmers to enforce those big patents and avoid responsibility for GM contamination of nearby crops. Big Ag obtained significant control of the world's food supply. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here are the first two things to address. The first is that the purple variety has been widely hailed as a positive addition to modern seed genetics, with feature articles in the New York Times. Oh, well, then it must be good. Forbes and CNN, just to name a few. It is engineered to naturally produce higher levels of healthy antioxidants and better bridge the shelf life gap among this popular produce. Secondly, Baker Creek has nearly 1 million Facebook followers. Sorry to break it to you, Baker Creek, but you are Big Ag too. See, when you're making that kind of money and when you have that kind of influence, oh my goodness, it's about time that, stuff like this is what happens to people who go off the rails. And trust me, we're not through discussing how far off the rails they have gone yet. The second part is what makes the Facebook tirade such a head scratcher. Yeah, we get why Baker Creek would be embarrassed to call out on listing a genetically engineered seed in an heirloom catalog. After all, it seems like it was Norfolk Healthy Produce that brought the issue up after noticing the listing's similarity to its purple variety. But to try to turn the situation into an attack on an arbitrary Big Ag boogeyman smacks of desperation. We have received many questions about the purple tomato marketed by Baker Creek as Purple Galaxy in their 2024 catalogs. We understand from Baker Creek that they will not be selling seeds of this variety, given its remarkable similarity to our purple tomato. We prompted, like the name is the same too, we prompted Baker Creek to investigate their claim that Purple Galaxy was non-GMO. We are told that laboratory testing determined that it is, in fact, bioengineered GMO. This result supports the fact that the only reported way to produce a purple fleshed tomato rich in anthocyanin antioxidants is with Norfolk's patented technology. We appreciated that Baker Creek tested their material and after discovering it was GMO, removed it from their website. It's like, so they bought the seed from somebody, somebody in a back alleyway, obviously. And they claim it's non-GMO. And finally, they test it. And here's what they say. Admittedly, that contradicts Baker Creek's version, which claimed after repeated testing, we are unable to conclusively establish that the Purple Galaxy does not contain any genes and have not oh my gosh, this is so crap. These are not genetically modified. Subsequent laboratory testing conducted in conjunction with Norfolk did not conclusively establish a relationship between the Purple Galaxy and Norfolk's GM purple tomato. It certainly leaves one to wonder what the labs really said. Based on Baker Creek's aggressive defensiveness, it seems likely that Norfolk Healthy Produce is delivering a more honest assessment of the lab results. That's exactly what happened, folks. Baker Creek got caught with egg on their face for putting in a GMO tomato on the cover of their seed catalog. and now is backtracking it. Well, the testing is inconclusive. We're unable to conclusively establish, we don't know. So what we'll do is the safe thing, and we'll take it off the website, and we won't sell these tomatoes. Again, this couldn't happen to a better company, one that I think long ago went off the rails. I don't know why you're buying seeds from them. There are much better companies out there. I have long been, for the last couple of years, been promoting ClearwaterValleyFarms.com. ClearwaterValleyFarms.com has seeds for sale right now for spring. Go get those. But see, this is not the only instance of these people seemingly to go off the rails. There used to be a guy that they had on their channel or on their website that was kind of the focus, kind of the face of Baker Creek. He was like this old home-timey, older elderly gentleman. I even met him and talked to him once. And he was a good face for the company. He just had the appearance of a life of hard work and moral uprightness and determination. And since then, he has been replaced with this hippie-looking guy from California. This is now the face of the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. And let me just bring to your attention their recent Valentine's Day posting. I think this was on Facebook. I don't even know. It says, "Happy Valentine's Day, a special message for all the romantic gardeners out there." I mean, cringe, right? I mean, Baker Creek was this company that kind of stood, for wholesome family values and just this moral uprightness and hard work and determination that homesteaders, were drawn to. I mean, you have great photos listed on their website. Here's their daughter, Sasha, holding a handful of Chinese red noodles. And Malia, it looks like harvesting the ingredients for some sort of soup, it says. Wait a minute. Sasha and Malia. Sasha and Malia. Where have I heard that before? What happened to Baker Creek? I mean, where did they start to go wrong? Well, it probably started when they tried to mandate all of their employees to get the pokey poke. And I repeat, if you are fully pokey poked, you will not be subject to testing or required to wear a mask. We will require your official pokey poke records before January 10th, 2022. Please bring your official pokey poke records to Jessica D. Once again, this is per the federal ETS mandate. You went off the rails. And, people started to get wind of what's going on. Now we just all are understanding what's happening here. On one hand, you're like, oh, well, we don't like those GMOs. Those GMOs are bad. And we all agree. We love you for that message. It's a great message. But then you're like, oh, well, we like the government mandated genetically modified varieties that we all have to get pokey poked with. Those are okay. Those are fine because we trust the science. What, you trust the science when it comes to the human pokey pokes, but when it comes to the genetically modified science, that's bad? What do you think? Leave a comment below. I may be a little bit worked up over this one. Stupid Shit Hurt. Check out our merchandise over at teespring.com. You can find our Stupid Shit Hurt shirt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful lot less genetically modified everythings going on in the world today. And then also, be sure to check out ClearwaterValleyFarms.com if you want seeds for the spring that are not genetically modified. And this is a company that would have never, ever required their employees to get a genetically modified pokey poke. You can check that out. Also, Clearwater Valley Farm seed packets are going to be included with every single Perfect Pickler kit that goes out from now until supplies last. We're including their non-GMO cabbage seeds so that you can make a cool ferment with that with this kit. It's going to ship out with all kits, no matter what the size of kits. But the master kit, what did I say there? The Master System Kit is a great kit for you to get started. If you've never done fermented vegetables before, this is a great way to start right there. With non-GMO vegetables. non-pokey poke vegetable. See you next time in the homestead. Bye! Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit PerfectPickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's PerfectPickler.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.